They say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet, gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen, in Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Hello and welcome to the Farmer's Kitchen. We're the farmers. This indeed is our kitchen. It's not a set. This is where we eat.
That's right.
This is when Nikki says to me, Tim, I'm
starving. Please feed me.
And it happens constantly.
That's right.
So we cook. And then when I say I'm starving and I might need a little oatmeal
cookie
or oatmeal
cake, oatmeal anything. How about a bowl of oatmeal?
Oh, you know what? Tonight we're going to do something. Speaking of oatmeal, when I was a kid growing up, there was a couple things that really, I just enjoyed them so much I couldn't hardly stand it. One of them was no-bake cookies.
You do
now
like
remember
those.
We had Dolly on the show and she made that. There was one other thing, and I have tried to find the origins of this, and I really think, as much as I have looked around, I noticed that even in Kentucky, I've been in Kentucky my whole life, when we were a little more west and north, I didn't see this as much. But when we moved up into the Appalachian Plateau in the northeastern part of the state, it was ubiquitous. That is our 4-syllable word for the day.
Wow, it's a big
You know
word.
what ubiquitous is?
What does it? What is
ubiquitous means everywhere, easily
Okay.
found, concentrated in that area.
Okay.
There was a fellow that I worked with, Fish and Wildlife. He used that word constantly. That was his favorite word. That's our 4-syllable word for the day. Ubiquitous.
I'm gonna start using that.
Easy to find. Yeah. It's everywhere. Now, Mom was always very careful. She wanted us to have good teeth, so she didn't fix us too much sweet stuff. But she made it one time, and I think I liked it so much.
She never made it again. She's afraid. You ate it all.
She thought I was going to eat it all. And I love potato candy.
Yes, you do.
If you look at the roots of potato candy and you really dig in and try to find out where that came from, mostly what you see is Appalachian. And during the Depression, powdered sugar, as they call it, or confectioner sugar, was a little cheaper than regular sugar. So when you think about what is potato candy, think about divinity, that light, airy, fluffy, there's a lot of air in it, that flavor and texture. But what happens, and a lot of Irish immigrants came in that way and they used potatoes for everything. What happens when you have a divinity type structure, but then you add a starchy, wonderful flavor and then roll up the smoky protein of peanut butter?
Right. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
It's magic. So let's make this stuff.
Okay, and from what I understand, it's pretty much 3 ingredients, but people add more. So you need, I actually used a medium potato, but you could do 2 little ones. You want about a half a cup of potato. And I already boiled this, and I kind of sliced it thin, and I just chilled it. So my potato's done. I have 1 whole pack of powdered sugar, which is...
There is a lot of confectioner sugar.
That's like 32 ounces of powdered sugar. And we have peanut butter. That's your main 3 ingredients.
How much peanut butter?
As much as you want, and last time you said you wanted more, so we'll see how much we use. But also something that I realize is that people do put other things in it. So I'm going to put, some people put cream, put butter, put vanilla. I've got a little bit, probably a teaspoon of heavy cream, just a little bit, because we don't want it too loose.
Now what happens if you put too much liquid in here? You're going to need a lot more confectioner sugar.
Then you're going to make a huge roll. Now this is what Lisa made me. This is homemade vanilla, and this is all I have left. Lisa, I need more. I told her that. This is so, I've used this all through the holidays. It's so wonderful. I'm just going to put a little bit.
From actual vanilla beans?
Yes, she spent a long time making this.
Now you want to use a good white potato. I think a russet is good for this, just for the consistency and just the whole package is better with the russet.
I think so too. And you had a suggestion. You thought maybe some salt.
A little bit of salt. A little bit of salt doesn't hurt anything. Now, peanut butter has some, so you don't want to go too much.
All right, so we're going to start by just mixing this up, and I'm going to slowly add powdered sugar. It could be messy. You okay with that? I'm just going to have you add a little bit, of
Okay.
the powdered sugar, and I'm gonna mix it. And
Tell me when.
Go ahead, just put it in there.
All of it?
Yeah, just go ahead and I'll just mix that up and see what happens here. And as you see, at first it's going to look like almost icing. See how it's kind of wet?
Yeah.
And what we want is this to turn into dough so that I can roll it out.
You know, the thing that's kind of surprising about this is you don't think there's that much moisture in there. You just put a tiny bit of cream.
I'm going to grab a spatula and knock this down a little too. We still got a ways to go, don't we?
Now that's a lot of confectionery sugar, but it's candy, and it's not something that we're going to eat every day.
Right.
We
Listen to
shouldn't
yourself.
eat-
Listen to
Yep.
yourself. Oh, it's getting thick. You go ahead and throw some in there while I'm doing this. We're getting there.
All right, now look at this consistency. You know, I'm really amazed at the little bit of liquid we had in there to begin with, and how long that it was liquidy.
That's right.
Until it really starts setting up. Now what Nikki does is she'll take a roll of this and she'll put it in the freezer, and it keeps very well like that.
Now I'm going to get a piece of wax paper.
This was really popular during the Depression era. It's really setting up, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we want. I mean, sometimes we may need, is there any sugar left? If we do, but we may be good.
It's very little.
Little. Just go ahead and put it on there. I'm going to use it.
You want to scoop it with your fingers?
Yeah, let's just use it. It's almost like using flour when you're doing a pie dough. That should be good. See how we almost got a dough? All right, see how we're sticky? I need a little bit, I need more like sugar, but it's like flour.
Still a lot of liquid in there.
Yes,
Just
there
from
is.
that potato and the cream.
And you know, the more stuff being we put the cream and stuff, the more you put, the bigger the piece you're gonna have.
So keep that in mind. A lot of recipes call for milk. We used heavy cream and you used very little.
Right. Some people put butter even. Put a little more. See how we're almost getting like a pie dough here. All right, that should do it. Let me just get this all rolled out. All right, I didn't do square. I kind of got oval, but it doesn't matter. We'll cut it to be beautiful.
It's beautiful.
All right, time for the peanut butter.
Oh, it's just this simple.
And last time you thought you wanted a little more peanut butter, didn't you? Let's see if this does it.
You can do a very subtle strip of peanut butter, or you can go ahead and pile some in there.
And some people put different, if you're, don't want peanut butter or you're allergic or something, you can put whatever you want in here.
You
Think
could
about
put
it.
almond butter. I mean, there's
Yeah.
different applications. So look at that. Beautiful design right there that we're getting ready to roll up.
Now by using, this is why you want the wax paper. You see how I can kind of make it roll without destroying it. I'm gonna just go ahead and pull this up like this.
You just leave it in the paper?
We're gonna see how it's gonna, and I can shape it a little better. See this? All right. I'm gonna squeeze it, shape it.
Go right into the fridge.
Yes.
For how long?
Half hour at least, couple hours. However long it takes, the more it sits, the better it's gonna get.
All right, so the other day we had some broccoli, and it was kind of getting close to, hey, we got to do something with this, or it's
Right.
going to go bad. So we thought, what would we like with dinner? And we had a chicken for dinner. And we thought, how about a broccoli casserole? Now, a lot of times you will put a can of mushroom soup in there. That's kind of cheating, isn't it?
It's easy, but it's cheating.
And a lot of times there's all kinds of preservatives
Right.
and things in there. So we thought, okay, we'll make our own broccoli casserole. It's kind of a work in art. So let's do this, let's add that. Let's do this, let's add that. That's a little rich, but it's wonderful. So let's get started on that as a side to our beautiful chicken that we're going to show you in a minute.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut the broccoli for you.
Now on the stalk, you can use pieces of that, but we do have critters and animals that would absolutely love that. Holly would love a bite of that.
She would.
Our sheep would love that, so we think about that too. We could even cut that up. You could even kind of cut that up in small pieces and the chickens would dig it.
It's true.
So we're gonna start our broccoli boiling. Then over here, we're gonna start sauteing some onions. Mushrooms are optional. Some people like them, some people don't. If you're on the border, on the fence, give it a shot. It's wonderful in this recipe. So we're gonna go ahead and melt some butter, and we're gonna make a little roux here to thicken things up like you would have in a mushroom soup. All right, let's drop those onions in.
It's about half of a small onion then.
Then we're gonna take some white mushroom.
Yummy.
This is our base for getting started, and I'm telling you what, just that right there,
Oh, yeah.
what that does to a room, it's just almost beautiful, the smells that come out of this. So I'm gonna put just a little more butter in there. All our recipes are base recipes, so if you have to make substitutions, there are substitutions out there. Any type of recipe that we do, if you look online, what's a good replacement for X, it will tell you that out there.
Good idea. Now I think your broccoli is looking pretty good. If you don't mind,
It's looking
turn it off.
beautiful, nice and green.
I'm gonna drain it and go ahead and get it in the pan and cut it up a little. Put it on the
Right.
bottom. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. And then what happens to the broccoli, Mrs.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Farmer?
cut it up. These are wonderful.
Wow.
Tracy got to see. So I'm just gonna cut up more of a bite-sized piece. I'm gonna go ahead and pour our broccoli in here. We're gonna
Okay.
stir it all up in here. I did put olive oil in this,
Gotcha.
so we're good.
All right. How about a roux? So we're going to start a little sort of a roux here just to thicken things up.
You ready?
Go ahead.
Is that enough flour or you want a little more?
You can put a little bit more if
bit
you'd
more.
like. That's going to thicken things up. Think about how if you did a can of mushroom soup, it would have a little thickness to
Oh
it.
yeah. Got a cup of cream here for you.
All right.
Ooh, how can this not be good? This is wonderful.
All right. This is a thick and rich dinner. And we don't eat like this every day. Like I said, cabbage soup for like a week's coming up. Scrape all those good yummies off the bottom. I was talking to Dad on the phone today. And you know, everybody has their likes and dislikes. But Dad hates mayonnaise. He said, you'll be cooking a dish and it'll look so good. He said, didn't you ruin it with mayonnaise?
But she shouldn't tell him. He probably won't taste it. Don't
I
tell
said,
him.
Man, it's mostly egg whites. He said, I know, but just the thought of it. So Dad, there's no mayonnaise.
No
in
mayonnaise,
here, just
yeah.
egg whites.
This is just white butter.
Okay, let's go.
All right, you ready?
Now look how that. Now look at the magic that's happening there with that little bit of flour. See how that's thickening up?
Ready for sour
Isn't that
cream?
beautiful? Yep.
Beautiful. This is a half a cup. This just gives it a good flavor, don't you
It
think?
does. It just adds that. Now this is again a very rich dish. You wouldn't want to do this every day, but we're doing it today.
So half a cup of mayonnaise and half a cup of sour cream.
And again, Nikki and I were working on this the other day and thinking, okay, how can we do this without a canned soup? So look what we've got. Look
how
at the
thick.
consistency of it. It's just beautiful. So that little bit of flour and butter started this roux, and then the mayonnaise comes in, and the sour cream.
But it tastes, well, you still got cheese.
You know what I want right now? You know what this is making me want?
What?
Pepper.
A little bit of pepper, it's a good idea.
Oh, the pepper bandit would be so upset that we're using his pepper. All right, go ahead.
How much you want? I'm gonna save a little for the top too, all right?
Now this is some sharp cheddar. Now we don't have any, but if we had some smoked Gouda to add to the
that'd be
depth of
good.
flavor here, it would just be a gorgeous, beautiful thing. Look right here, it's a beautiful cheese tree. Put a little line through a little tree.
Beautiful.
Put a tree on the edge. Gotta love Bob Ross. Okay, we don't do brand names on the show, but we're gonna tell you this is an all-purpose seasoning.
Just put a little in there. Of your favorite, right?
Many brands out there that'll work just to add some more depth of flavor. Okay,
Right.
so now we're gonna go
Can I add the egg in there for you?
with
while
the
you stir?
egg. Now
And
see how thick that is? See how
Yes.
that, ooh,
And I put a little cream with this, so I'll go ahead and
Okay.
stir. We don't want it to have a scrambled
So
egg,
here's
but
some egg and cream.
just kind of mix it in.
Okay, so we turn the burner off.
We don't want scrambled eggs,
We
so
don't
that'll.
need it to firm up that much on us, but this is another binding agent.
You could have put cauliflower too in there with
You
it.
could, absolutely.
You ready for some of these to mix in?
This really adds something special. Now you've had this in a green bean casserole, and I thought, how would that be in a broccoli casserole? Let's go
Yum.
ahead and stir. I'll tell you one more thing I want to do.
More pepper.
More pepper. So we mix some of the onions in there,
Can I put more on top?
Sure.
What do you think? A little more cheese?
and then we're going to put some on top. And then, ooh, look at that one.
That's a good one.
And we're going to finish off. She put a little more cheese. Now, if you want a little crunch on top, you could put crackers, or you could put just some of these French fried,
That's what makes it special.
prepared onions. That's the only thing that's prepared in our whole menu today.
Wow, putting a lot.
At that.
You like those, don't you?
Oh, my. Then pop it in at 350. And we're going to go about,
25 minutes. Let's see what we'll watch it.
keep it on it when it
Yeah.
starts getting brown, you know. But you know, the thing about it is the broccoli's already cooked.
Right.
So all we're doing is browning that up and
Thickening
melding
it up,
everything together.
yeah.
Boy,
Gooey nice.
let's get this mess cleaned up, and then we're going to come back and tell you about the best chicken you can possibly eat. We all have that time in our lives when you just want to smell something cook in the oven.
Yes.
You want to have that roasted chicken or that pot roast or that wonderful Sunday, what'd your mom call her roast?
Your Sunday pot roast.
Sunday pot roast. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
It's cold outside, you just want to smell it. Well, this is a chicken recipe that's kind of accidental,
Right.
and we'll explain the situation. And my brother, who I haven't seen probably in 6 or 7 years,
Right.
because he's a busy guy, he travels all over the world, he finally got some time off to stop by for a minute. I said, what do you want? He said, well, I can't eat this because he's got the alpha-gal thing going on. And I said, well, you need a chicken. I said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna smoke you a chicken. So the weather came about so that we couldn't put our smoker outside. So I thought, we've already got this chicken brining. So let's just put it in the oven. What happened,
Wow,
Nikki?
it was amazing.
What was your take on it?
The flavor's amazing with being brine like that. Just the smell of the brine itself, it was the best we've ever had.
I
It's
would
wonderful.
have to agree
Yes.
with you. Then we made a gravy a la
Oh.
Raul. Any of his sauces or gravies
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that, I kind of borrowed some ideas from him and thought, how would Raul do this? Who's an old French chef of mine who I got a lot of guidance from him.
You
And
did.
he would tell me what to use here and what to use here. French chef, come on.
Yeah, perfect.
So let's get this water going. We're not going to get this real hot, but we want to dissolve our sugars and salts. So let's talk about brining a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Why should you brine a chicken? If you've ever brined chicken in pickle juice,
Oh, wow. Delicious.
it's an amazing flavor,
Mm-hmm.
especially before you smoke it or even in the oven. But what happens physically when you brine a chicken? Protein strands are generally kind of balled up and tight. When you put salt in a chicken, those protein strands open up and they kind of interweb with each other.
That's why it's so
And they
delish.
take that moisture on. And when you're cooking,
Mm-hmm.
that moisture stays in because of those salt particles that are going in. And then you have taste.
That's why it's so wonderful.
The taste is a bonus, so
Yeah.
the moisture stays in. Have you ever had a piece of chicken, you cut into it, the skin is so delicious and crispy and it's almost flavorless inside?
Right.
We
A
don't
lot,
want that.
yes.
So brine your chicken if you have the opportunity to do so.
Right.
And you can go anywhere up to 10, 12 hours on this if you like to. Sometimes we forget about it.
Couple days.
It goes a couple days and it's not unpleasant.
Right, still delicious.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a gallon of water,
Which is 16 cups of water.
16 cups of water. We're gonna put a cup of kosher salt, 1 cup of brown sugar. For some more flavor and color for the chicken, we got soy. So we're gonna get this just warm enough to dissolve. All right, then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons, yes, 2 tablespoons of black pepper. If you want a little of that smoke flavor, just a tiny bit, like a capful of
the smoke.
half a teaspoon of
Yeah.
liquid smoke. We're gonna put a dash of Worcestershire sauce in there. 2 tablespoons of granulated garlic.
Yummy.
Those flavors will permeate with that salt. And if you want to put just a little, this may sound strange, but a little bit of thyme, a dash of thyme. So we're going to warm that up just enough to dissolve that. We don't want our chicken to cook in this. Then we'll cool that back down to where it becomes room temperature and put our chicken in and put it in the fridge. And just tie this little guy up. Make sure he doesn't get away.
That's right.
Because when we put him in that oven, we don't want him. Just think how dirty that oven would be.
If he was jumping up and
got
down,
up now.
that's true. I didn't think of it that way.
So we're going to take this chicken, we're going to put it in the brine for 10, 12 hours. Just put it in the fridge and forget about it. So what happens when you bring this chicken in? Already tied up, already ready to go. And you see a little color already from that soy, so he's going to get nice and brown. Here's the beginnings of something beautiful. Not only are we going to have a beautiful roasted bird, but Nikki actually demands, she has threatened me before if I didn't
have.
make.
Mashed potatoes and gravy. Gotta have gravy.
There you go.
And I've
There
got
you
the
have it.
mashed potatoes ready for you.
Imagine
Perfect.
that.
That's right.
So I have to make her gravy. So when I'm thinking about this, it's not just, okay, let's put this in the pan.
Right.
What happens when this thing starts to cook and brown, those beautiful juices
Magic
fall
gravy.
into, that is some white wine. It's about a cup of white wine. So now we're gonna come back with, I don't know, maybe a cup and a half of chicken broth, already seasoned.
Yeah.
So what we're shooting for here is the end flavor, the
yeah.
salty, savory, yummy stuff. So we're actually making a recipe within a recipe. So we have here are some dried shallots. Oh,
Yummy.
smell that. Shallots are beautiful. If you don't have shallots, you can use onions. To get the salty umami flavor, we're gonna add some chicken bouillon. We're gonna add 2 little bouillon cubes. But okay, what have we got here? We're gonna have a really salty, savory, beautiful browned juices coming off of this into shallots and white wine.
Yummy.
And some broth. So now we need a little sweet. So Raul, my French chef friend, I would watch him. This is something he would do. This is just a little orange marmalade.
Yummy. Love orange marmalade.
What's that gonna do? That's gonna bring just a little bit of sweet in. It's not enough to change it and make it sweet, but it's to give you that zesty flavor that you're gonna think, what is that? And the depth of flavors.
yeah.
All these combined flavors are just gonna blow your mind when it comes out. Broccoli time.
It's been 20 minutes.
It's been 20 minutes. 350.
Ooh, yum.
I want you to look at this when it comes out. Look at this bubbling brew. Look at this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little sesame oil. and we're going to completely coat every square inch of this bird that we can get to. I mixed up my own all-purpose seasoning. This batch, it was probably celery salt. I had black pepper, I had garlic, a little bit of onion,
All your favorites.
and some pepper. And that was about it on this one. Maybe a few more ingredients. Just a little bit of garlic pepper. That adds a little more flavor. With that combination of the sesame oil, then you put a little more garlic on there. Those combinations are beautiful. Now this chicken is going to go at 350 for about 2 hours. Everybody's oven is different. So if you see it getting really brown, get your meat thermometer out.
That's right.
Check that bird. If it's over 170, you need to stop. You're good to go. Let it rest for 10 or 15 minutes. You got a beautiful thing.
I'm excited.
But meanwhile, we cook this uncovered.
That's right.
We never cover it. All that beautiful stuff is coming out into your kitchen, and you're so happy, and you're singing songs, and Nikki's singing opera.
That's right.
Do you want to give us a taste?
Not today, but next time.
All right, next time. All right, so I want you to have another taste
Oh,
of this.
so good. Oh, wow. That's so good. I can't even describe it. So many flavors.
I just tasted it.
Wow.
Now you would think, okay, that's orange marmalade. You would think that that would be kind of outstanding. You can't taste in there, but you do have this umami burst of wonderment.
I could eat this with a spoon.
Show me
Just
how
sit
happy it
on-
makes you.
I could sit with a spoon and just eat that.
That's amazing,
Yes.
just as it is. But
Yes.
here's what we're going to do to take it a step further. We're going to kind of strain this as we go along, sort of. It doesn't matter if there's
Yeah, the good stuff, I
doesn't matter
like
if
it
there's a
all.
little bit of onion or shallot or something in there. So now, as you have seen throughout the history of our show, that flavor, you taste it to say, does it need any more salt? Does it need less of this, less of that?
It needs nothing.
It's perfect.
It is perfect.
So we're going to heat that up, and then we're going to add just a little slurry, which is cornstarch and water, equal parts.
Yum.
All right, let's
do you
turn that heat up just a little bit. Now you can look in real time and see what's happened to that gravy.
Ooh, that's gravy.
Isn't that amazing?
That
Just
is.
a little cornstarch, a little bit of water. Any country kitchen in the world would be proud to serve this beautiful, amazing
Oh,
plate.
yeah.
Mrs. Farmer, whatever you, I know what you're going to
I
try
want
first.
potatoes. I know. I could eat just potatoes. You know that.
Look at that gravy.
Oh wow.
You say you can't make gravy? Now this is one of my favorite things right here. Look how that holds up because of the egg.
That looks really good.
And because of our, look at that, look at that.
That looks delicious. I could live on mashed potatoes and gravy. Your gravy is, I've never tasted anything like that with all the flavors. Try some.
Now the star of the show, right here, just laying here quietly, looking at us.
Look at that skin.
Look at that. Now I'm gonna get to that skin later, but try this.
Looks amazing.
Every bite, full of flavor.
Oh, that's so flavorful, isn't it?
That is so flavorful
Wow.
and so moist. Look at the moisture. We didn't lose any
wow.
moisture. We gained moisture. This is just a thing of beauty. And we're gonna shut down and eat like kings here in a minute. But
So good.
you know what I remember? Our Appalachian candy.
Ooh, you need candy, don't you?
Yeah, let's just leave that there so it can cool down a little bit. Let's go ahead and grab that candy.
All righty, we'll do it.
Now, because of the time restrictions on this show, we didn't really have time for that to set up properly, but it's still
Delicious.
beautiful.
What do you think? I put extra peanut butter this time. Now, one thing I heard your mom say to you when she was talking to you on the phone, when you make this, she always made you brush your teeth because of all the sugar.
But sadly, oh no, look at there.
Oh, wow.
Our half hour's up.
Yes, it is.
So what's that mean? We're gonna have to eat what we made, and that won't be any problem. And I hope we have seconds and thirds because I'm starving. Are you starving?
I am
Mrs. Farmer?
starving. I'm always starving.
So it's time to talk about Mrs. Farmer's out shopping,
I like to shop.
or she's sometimes picks up roadkill like possums.
Yeah,
and things
picking
like
up
that.
roadkill. Always.
And if somebody stops by on the side of the road and says, Miss Farmer, I'm trying to give you a possum recipe or whatever, and they say, how in the world do you come up with all those recipes and where would I find them? You would probably say,
TimFarmersCountryKitchen.com.
bagillions of recipes
There are.
And also, we have lots of folks that we talk to on our Facebook page, but it's such a difficult process. How would you
is.
get on our Facebook page?
You hit like.
Whoa.
Yes.
I could even figure that out.
I think you could.
Being that our half hour is up, we have a couple things to say. It's a new year.
That's right.
Be looking for us on the road. We're going to travel some this year.
Yes, we are.
We're going to go out and about. We might come to your town. Keep watching. We'll let you know. Also, there's one thing that goes a long way, and that is kindness.
That's
if you
right.
can be kind to your fellow man, it's contagious.
Yes, it is.
It's a wonderful thing, and that's our message for this year. And remember, it's all about
Good times.
good friends.
And really good eats.
We'll see you next week on another Country Kitchen.
Potatoes. Potatoes.
I do love those potatoes, don't you? We have been catering for a lot of years, and I wanted everything to have a specific taste. Therefore, I had to come up with my own products.
Right.
A dry rub, chow chow, and our barbecue sauce are something that we use in all our catering gigs. I developed this barbecue sauce that is not the really thick, syrupy stuff that you get. This has more of a natural, it's got some pepper and onion flavor in it. You can actually see the particulates in there. You know, a lot of people are asking what we use our dry rub on. Now, obviously, pork and chicken are two of the more common things. Also, we've been using on our corn on the cob with butter.
That is.
I'm telling you, this
That's
stuff
wonderful.
with potatoes is fantastic. So 40 years in the making, Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen Dry Rub.
Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by Emerson Farms Country Store. Something for every member of the family. Ephraim McDowell Medical Center in Danville, Kentucky. Gulf Coast Connection. Seafood straight from the Gulf to you. The Spine Center of Central Kentucky. Wilderness Road Hospitality, Stanford, Kentucky. Visit Frankfort, Kentucky's spirited capital city.